here we are once again for our yoga class together. So thank you all, as always, for being here. And let's just close the eyes and start to take in full deep breaths and just settle in. What kind of day did you have? Maybe you really need this. I know I do, actually. And even just teaching the class still also is such a healing experience. So I'm happy to be here with all of you. And whatever your day looked like, see if you can just soften your body and notice any places where the residue might be. Maybe you can just have this wash of soothing, peaceful energy come over you from head to toe. Just wash over your body, softening each muscle that it runs over. And just know that we always have this practice. We always have our mat to come back to, even if it's just for a few moments, if it's all that we can make time for, all that we can handle that day. But we always have our breath and we always have this practice. And that's a gift. It's a gift to help us move through challenging times and to support us during the happy times. It's always there. So let's embrace that tonight. And I'd like to work with a well-rounded practice, but with the focus on grounding. So we can really settle into our groundedness, our connection to Mother Earth, and that feeling of support. So to begin, notice your sitting bones just planted into the earth. Maybe just shift your torso back and forth until you feel your shoulders directly over your hips, and you'll know you're in the right place when your lower back doesn't feel any sensation at all, when it just feels nice and easeful. Everything is proper. Gently let the shoulder blades melt down the back toward the hips. Draw them slightly toward one another. And gently draw the throat back just so much that you can feel your ears and maybe measure them, touch your earlobes and measure them right over your shoulders, just to be sure you have the head in the right position. Equal space between throat and back of neck. And then there should be the softness, and hopefully the breath eases up as well, gets softer, and the whole body just feels more at ease. Let's bring the palms to touch with the thumbs resting by the heart center as you bow the chin toward the throat. Let this whole idea of drawing inward help you draw down, but at the same time, feel the lightness. So grounding isn't just about sinking down. It's also about lifting that earth energy up into our bodies and feeling lively, feeling supported, but feeling open as well. And then very gently begin to blink open the eyes, taking in the mat and the floor, and then gradually the whole room as the head floats up. Now big breath in, hands down, around and up. Exhale, we twist to the right, moving from mid-body. Let the arms open nice and wide. Emphasize that movement, wringing out the body. Hips and shoulders are not involved. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, we twist from the mid-body. Again, open the arms wide. There is easefulness, but there's work. Your abdominal muscles should be working, particularly the obliques. You feel the side body working. It's really the intercostal muscles, but I say obliques because a lot of us know where that is. And exhale and twist to the right. So side body, internal, external, obliques. Inhale back to center. And exhale, twist left. Inhale. And exhale. Let's switch the crossing of the legs. Arms back up overhead. Exhale, fold it forward, long through the spine. Slide the hands forward. Maybe you stay right here with the arms lifted or the forearms come down. And let the chin melt to the throat. soften and breathe here. Breathe into the back body, breathe into the side body, and just allow yourself to surrender into the earth energy. And let's lift the forearms and walk the hands in just a little bit. So now you're upright. And we'll take a little walk over to the right so that your hands are framing the right knee. Now commit to the right hand. Open up through the left hand. So the palm is facing forward. Then turn the palm toward the right side of the room and reach over your head. Lengthen and reach as much as you can, but not with the arm. Plug that in, reach with the side body. And then turn the whole body over toward the right knee again. Release the left hand and we walk through center. Come on over to the left as we plant the right sitting bone down. Ground, 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 right? Commit to the left hand and rise up with the right arm. Turn the palm toward the left side of the room. Reach over your head because, again, the left side body is getting so long and spacious. We're breathing here. And then we'll turn the body back down toward the left knee, release the right hand. We walk to center. And let's come on over the legs to hands and knees, or maybe the legs are off to one side. Let's find our neutral cat here. So breathe here for a moment as you find this grounded space. So spread your fingers wide and press into the pads of the fingers and the knuckles. But notice, remember, grounding is about lifting. So see if you can plug your arm bones into the sockets. So we don't want to be letting our arms reach up like this where we're locking out our elbows and really pressing down into the palms. What I'd like you to do instead is see if you can shorten your upper arm bones by plugging them in. So bringing them into the shoulder socket so that your chest is going closer to the floor. And then lift your chest, scoop your chest forward so that you soften between your shoulder blades. And that's going to give you a groundedness, but also stability. Toes are tucked in the mat behind your knees. Big breath in. Sit bones lift toward the ceiling. Navel in and up towards spine as we soften between the shoulder blades. Gaze forward of the mat. Long neck. Exhale all 10 toenails into the mat. Tailbone to floor. Navel straight up toward low spine. Chin to throat. Again, tuck the toes. Sit bones lift. Navel and up. Shoulders. Soften between the shoulder blades. And allow for length through the neck again. Exhale, rounding, tailbone to crown. And just keep moving at your own pace, your own breath, breath-body connection. Easeful, soft, and sweet. Now take one more round. And after you take your last exhale, come on back to a neutral spine. Step one foot straight back, step the other one straight back, and lift it up to downward facing dog. If it's too much, you can come right to child's pose and be there instead. If you're finding that it's just a little early, you can bend your knees and send your hips back deep into the hip creases to get yourself into that nice long spine position. And then maybe work to straighten your legs as much as they're allowing. But again, it's early, so that might not work. So see how it feels. But let's not lose that connection to the pads of the fingers. So as if you're trying to shift your weight into the pads of the fingers while deepening your hip creases toward the wall behind you. The head just hangs to the floor. You can move the head yes and no. That feels good to do. And then right from there, let's take a little walk up toward the front of the mat, walking the hands and the feet together, just the feet walking up toward the front of the mat. Inhale, fingertips to floor or hands to shins, prepare pose. Exhale and fold forward. Knees can be bent here. Navel in and up, arms come around and up, palms to touch overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, hands down, around and up. Exhale, dive it out. Uttanasana, forward bend. Inhale, fingertips to floor or hands to shins, prepare pose. Exhale, fold again. Inhale the arms around and up, palms to touch. Exhale, heart center. Now, you might notice my knees are bent today. I pulled the hamstring or something, just hurt it a little bit. So this is a lesson, right, to be where your body needs to be. So my legs are normally straight, but I'm not going to, the ego can't get in the way, so the knees have to bend. So I ask you to do the same. Always check in with your postures to make sure that you're not pushing through anything. Well, I always straighten my legs, so I have to straighten my legs today. Listen to your body. So let it be whatever it needs to be, okay? Inhale, hands down, around, and up. We always honor the body. Exhale, dive it out. Forward bend. Inhale, fingertips to floor or hands to shins, prepare pose. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, the arms around and up, palms to touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hands to the hips, nice wide stance. Open it up nice and wide into your warrior two. Well, not really, well, fan pose really, working our way into warrior two, but just take a look at, so it's a warrior two stance in the spaces between the feet. Pinky toes are parallel to both sides of the mat for now. And then we'll turn our right toes out toward the right side of the room. Notice the groundedness of your feet, the triangle. I was talking about the triangle, big toe mound, pinky toe mound, and heel. So ground through your feet and lift your toes in this warrior position and see if you can maintain. That's a little, you might be going, whoa, it might be wobbly, right? So you can still maintain. So you have to press the pinky toe down a little bit more in the back foot, a little bit more of the big toe mound, maybe in the front, a little bit in the heel. Find that balance and then release the toes, extend the arms and bend the knee. Can you maintain that idea? Because when you bend the knee, the pinky toe of the back foot lifts even just so slightly. So even here, you want to be very aware of that triangle. That's where the groundedness will come from. This idea of grounding and supporting yourself from the earth, and then the lift through the mid arches, through the legs, through the crown of your head allows you to go deeper. Maybe, maybe not. See how it feels. And then big breath in, right hand down the back leg, left palm toward the wall behind you, toward the left side of the room. Keep your tailbone to the floor. Press deeply through the right shin so we don't lose that lunge. What I'd like you to do, take your left hand behind your back. And maybe you can reach for the front of your the front of your right thigh. Maybe not anywhere near it. Maybe it's right on your lower back. Either way, roll your left shoulder blade down your back and draw it in towards your spine just a little bit. Get a little more opening in the front of the left side of your chest. Tailbone to floor, keep lifting the center of the chest away from the navel as you reach more with your right side body. Get a little deep with the back, but keep the arms plugged in so you're grounded and let the groundedness help you lift up. So grounding isn't heavy, grounding is light. Come on back, warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Reach it forward with the right fingertips and bring the right hand to the shin, the thigh, wherever it reaches. Left arm opens up toward the ceiling. And again, if you need to bend your knee, you bend your knee like I need to do today. Or you keep pressing into big toe mound, pinky toe mound, and heel and work to straighten your leg but not lock it. So there's a little micro bend in your knee. What I'm doing is a bend. This is not a micro bend. A micro bend would be your leg is extended with a tiny little softness in the back of your knee. So feel this openness and this expansiveness. Beautiful. Bend through your front knee. Come on back up to your warrior two position. Is it steady? Is it grounded? Hands to the hips. Turn your right toes to face toward the long side of your mat. And then turn the left toes out toward the left side of the room. Bend through left knee. Extend the arms into your warrior two. And again, where is that triangle in both feet? Are you able to ground it down through that pinky toe of the right foot, big toe mound, heel of the front? Not overdoing it. Remember, equal throughout all three corners of your foot, all 3 points. A big breath in, right hand down the back leg, left palm reaches toward the wall behind you. Keep a deep bend if you can, so don't lose your lunge. And then you can see if you can bring the right hand behind your back. Roll the shoulder blade down the back toward your hip and then in toward your spine. Maybe you can reach a little bit more so toward the right hip, left hip area, excuse me. Maybe not. But either way, Open through the chest a bit more, open through the shoulder area, shoulder girdle, and then we lift. No pain or strain in the shoulder joint, but in the muscles surrounding it, in your chest and your upper back. That's okay. Tailbone is long to the floor. We lift out of the back body. So again, we're not overdoing the back bend. We're grounding and finding lightness and lift through the torso. Unravel that back arm. Both arms extend. You're back to warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Reach it forward and bring the hand to the shin or the thigh as we open up into Trikhanasana, triangle pose. And we breathe. Notice if your ribs are spilling out, keep them drawing in, tailbone lengthening toward the back heel to keep a lot of support in the abdominal area. So even then you're grounded, you want to find lightness. A lot of that also comes from maintaining that support in the abdominals. Bend through the front knee. We're back to our warrior two position. Hands to the hips, both feet face toward the long side of your mat, and then step it up to the front of your mat, to the short side of your mat. Hands to heart center. Inhale, hands down, around and up. Exhale, dive it out, forward bend. Inhale, fingertips to floor or hands to shins, prepare pose. Your choice, step back to plank pose, lift to down dog or hold plank, or you can step back to hands and knees and come to child's pose. So either child's pose, you can measure out for your down dog by sliding the hands forward, plug the arm bones back into the sockets though, but in puppy dog, lift the sternum towards your chin. Stay in child's pose if you'd like, or from there you can step one foot back and then the other, and we can all meet in downward facing dog. Take a moment here to breathe deeply. Wherever you are, down dog or child's pose is fine. If you need a little extra heat, float to plank pose. Hold that for a few breaths and then come back to down dog. Listen to your body and see what you need. Sometimes moving into those really strong poses are also very grounding. You're using the body, using the muscles. So it gives us this idea of steadiness and power. So breathe into that. Now from down dog or all fours, we'll be moving our right foot forward. So I'll demonstrate it from all fours on this side. So either from down dog or all fours. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, right foot between your hands. If your back knee was down, we'll lift it. We'll release the back foot. So toes face toward left front corner of the mat. Bend through the front knee as you sweep the arms up overhead for your warrior one position. Feel that lift and that openness. So can you find a lot of space in your torso? So tailbone to floor, sternum away from navel. It's not a back bend, just extension. And then right from there, bring your hands to heart center. Now, if your balance is a little bit off, we'll be coming into a twist. You can release the back knee down to the floor once again. Lengthen, deepen through the right hip crease so you'll feel your hips square a bit. Your right hip will go back toward the back wall, front hip toward the front wall. Lean a little forward, inhale, lengthen, and then twist from the mid body. Keep lengthening a bit more through the torso and then see where your elbow lands. It might land on top of the thigh. Can you lengthen a little bit more and use your navel? Can you twist from the mid body to get the elbow to the outside of the right thigh? Not because you're jamming into the shoulder. Hands are together and the elbows are in opposite directions, one down toward the floor, one toward the ceiling. Keep lengthening your torso and twisting navel toward the right inner thigh. You can even lean back a little bit. See how that feels. Good. Breathe and keep pressing into the back leg, back foot. So you're not putting all the weight in the front thigh. Very common to do that, where the front thigh is taking all the work and then it hurts. It's like burns and it's hard to stay here, but the back leg is doing its work. You could stay here forever. You won't have to, but you could. And then right from there, let's come on back up to our warrior one position. Beautiful. Interlace the hands behind the back. Keep lengthening, tailbone to floor, keep lifting and opening. So grounding down, turning the body over toward the left side of the room. And then humble warrior. Can you come down toward the earth? Let the right shoulder come to the right inner thigh. The crown of the head is it's not touching the floor, but it's working its way down. Can you feel earth energy drawing you down? But then can you feel lightness too? Lift the arms away from the back body with the elbows, a little bend in the elbows. Lift and open here. Soften, breathe. And then right from there, let's release the hands to the floor. Frame your front foot. Your choice here, you can step right back to downward facing dog or child's pose. If you'd like, you can step it back to plank pose, come straight to plank pose. This is your choice, doesn't have to happen. Lower the knees, tops of the feet flat, and then lower down to the belly, nice and slow. Inhale to your baby cobra, lengthening. If you like to press into the hands and the feet, you can lift to upward facing dog if that's in your practice. From the ground up, keeps you out of the lower back. Or you just stay in your baby cobra, finding that openness of mid and upper spine, softening through the glutes. Tuck the toes. You can come straight up to plank, or maybe you come to a supported plank, then plank, and then downward facing dog. And breathe here. Or, of course, child's pose the whole time. We'll just move into your child's pose now. Now, from downward facing dog or all fours, inhale, look forward. Exhale, left foot between your hands. If it doesn't get there, you help it up. Heel toe it up, take hold behind the calf, whatever you have to do. Doesn't have to be graceful, just has to be properly aligned. Release the back foot, toes face toward right front corner of the mat. Inhale the arms up overhead. Virabhadrasana 1. Warrior 1. Very nice, everybody. Breathe, feel space, feel openness, but feel supported by earth. So if you feel really calm in your practice, it means you're grounded. Sometimes when the mind gets too busy and it's spinning around, we get very spacey, we get all out here. Not that this is a bad thing, but when you're not grounded and you're just floating around, it can be very disruptive. So when you're grounded and also reaching toward a divine consciousness, it feels a little bit more settling in the body. Bring the hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen. Deepen through the left hip crease as you fold forward halfway. Lengthen a little bit more. See if you can twist your navel toward the left side of the room. Lengthen more, and then maybe bring the right elbow to the top of the left thigh. Maybe you can even twist deeper and then bring the right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. It doesn't have to happen. Back heel down, that might not work. So if you have to lift the heel, feel free to lift the heel, or even drop the right knee to the mat for support. So see if you can lean your back body a little bit more toward the right, and you can twist a little bit deeper, maybe. Press through that back foot. Make sure the weight is in the back of the body. If your knee is down, you can do the same things. Make sure you're not leaning into the front leg, using your core to hold you up. And then inhale the arms back up overhead. You're back to that warrior 1. Interlace the hands behind your back. Turn the torso over toward the right, and then start to fold forward, bringing the left shoulder toward the left inner thigh. Let your head go down toward the floor, and well, not toward the floor, I say, not to the floor. And then lift the arms away from the back body, again with a nice bend in the elbows to get into the chest and the upper back. Let me breathe. Let me soften here. Big breath in. We sweep the arms back up overhead to a warrior 1 just for a little moment here. And then release the hands to the floor. Pivot on the back foot. And then your choice, again, to downward facing dog, to plank, to child's pose. If you go straight to plank, once again, if you choose, lower chaturanga from plank or supported plank. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale to the knees or straight to plank, and then down dog or right into your child's pose. And breathe here. Soften here. Notice how you're feeling. Are you feeling grounded? Are you feeling supported? And that's really what this is all about. It's always feeling support, whether it be from our life, people in our life, from the earth energy, wherever we can get it, right? Wherever we can find a place that just feels safe. And sometimes child's pose is just what we need. The grounding of our third eye, taking this divine consciousness and just bringing it to the earth, drawing the earth energy into us. See how that feels. And we breathe it in and we breathe it out. And then right from there, from down dog, you can float to plank and lower to your belly, or from all fours, just come on down to your belly and place your forearms onto the floor, elbows underneath your shoulders. For Sphinx pose, tops of the feet are flat into the mat, so all the toenails and the tops of your feet are into the mat. You're already in a back bend, so feel free to stay right here. If it's too much, you slide the elbows forward. See how that feels. But either way, see if you can lengthen the center of your chest away from your navel. Press into the forearms so you can still plug your elbows into the socket, so you don't want to be letting the shoulders just drop or lift to the ears. Lengthen the center of your chest away from the navel, and then as you press down into the pads of the fingers and the forearms, see if you can lift your sternum, center of chest up towards your chin. Now your gaze it's going to be beyond your mat, so it's on an angle. So back of your neck and throat. If you look at my neck, you can see the back of the neck and the throat, or even I'm not here. I'm not shortening the back of my neck looking forward. I'm looking down on an angle, so about 3 or 4 inches beyond the front of my mat. That's going to keep my neck nice and happy. So even if I move deeper into this pose, my gaze may go a little further, but it's not going to move up. It's going to still move forward onto the floor. So if you want a little deeper, you can press into the forearms and lengthen your sternum again away from the navel, and then lift it up to place where ceiling and wall meet. You're not looking at the place where ceiling and wall meet. You know where it is. Just direct your sternum, the center of your chest there, while you continue to gaze beyond your mat. So you should feel this pretty nice opening in the mid and upper spine. No strain anywhere. Your lower back is happy. No strain. Back bending is actually quite grounding and soothing. Yes, it is a high energy pose, but it's actually soothing. The body likes it because it opens up the chest. We take in more air. We open up the heart chakra. So there's a lot of great things that happen in back bends when done correctly. When you jam into your lower back, your body goes into literally into like fight or flight. It goes into the sympathetic nervous system in a huge way. It goes there anyway, yes, but it goes there in a way like, oh my God, like danger, because the body is being compromised. So let the energy be full, let it be active, but let it be balanced in its active place. So another big breath, we hold a bit more. Then gently lower down, stack one hand on top of the other, let your forehead rest on top of the back of your hands. Maybe you'll sway your hips side to side or windshield wiper the legs, whichever you prefer. And then from there, we'll press ourselves up to hands and knees. You can press up to plank if you want a little extra work. And then we'll all meet in a wide-legged child's pose. Take the knees as wide as the mat, crisscross your big toes, seat toward heels, hands walk forward, and forehead and forearms to the mat. If your tush needs to pop up, that's okay. Get your forehead down. But if your knees are wider, sometimes a little bit easier to get your head down and your tush down. So you're in child's pose. I'm speaking into the microphone, so my head is up. But just see if you can allow yourself to surrender into the earth energy here. Be able to open and expand, but again, open and expand in a way that allows for softness and an easeful quality to the nervous system. Always working toward balance. So even if we're grounded, it's not all about just earth energy. It's about grounding so we can expand, so we can grow, become one with the polar opposites of energies that reside within us. It's always about the merging of earth and divine. We are a piece of both. So we want to honor both. But we can only do that when we feel safe and supported. So first and foremost, we need to feel safe and supported. Take another full deep breath here. And we'll walk the hands into the body, help the knees toward one another, hips off to one side, and find your seated position with the legs extended straight out in front of you. Shake, shake, shake. Let's come into ankle to knee in whatever way suits you. So let's bring both, I don't even want to do it. No, I can do a twist. Okay, let's bring the right. I was trying to think I was going to do a twist. That would depend on which way I would do it. Let's bring the right foot onto the mat, knee up toward the ceiling. And then we'll cross the right shin over the left thigh. Bringing the hands on the floor. Bring the left foot onto the floor and walk your seat closer to your heel. And this is your first place that you can go. Shoulders might be up to the ears. Roll them away. Keep the spine nice and long. It's active, but it's very deep. Maybe you want deeper though. Maybe you can move. If you're very tight, you may stay right here though. If not, you can heel toe the left foot over to the right and you can stack the right shin on top of the left. If that's not appropriate and you have a block in front of the left knee, right foot on top of the block, and then fold forward. If you don't have a block and this is not working for you, then you just bring the right shin in front of the left and you fold forward here, or you stay upright if you're tight, okay? So wherever you need to be is fine. What you do want to pay attention to, if you are stacking the shin on top of the other, watch your bottom shin. It likes to come in closer to you. Bring it parallel to the front of your mat. That's going to make it deeper. And then we bring the top shin parallel to the bottom shin with the foot, the right foot facing toward the left side of the room. If it's looking up at you, no good. If the knee is popping up high, that's okay. It means you're tight. And you can put a blanket or you could put a block there. And maybe your hands just stay behind your back. If you fold forward when you have your knee up a little higher, if your hips are tight, then don't go any further. Maybe that's just not going to work for you today. Maybe you need to stay upright. But if you can go farther, you can. And maybe even bring the arms around in front of you. If you do have a block, a nice way to feel very grounded in this pose is to place the block on either the high, mid, or low, depending how open you are, and let your forehead rest on the block. So what I like to do, if you can see here, is I like to put my forehead on the block, and then I have my palms facing up. So as I'm grounding down, I'm taking in earth energy into my hands. So a way to allow yourself to balance while grounded, but while being grounded. Now see how that feels for you, if that feels like a good place to be. If you can't reach the block, you can actually pile up two if you have blocks. And if you don't have any blocks, then that's okay. Then you just let your chin melt to your throat. You just let the head hang down toward the floor in a very gentle way. Take another full breath in, and we'll walk the hands in toward the body. Excuse me. Let's extend both legs out in front of you. Shake, shake, shake. Shake it out. Take a moment. Tap, tap, tap if you need, whatever you need to do, right? And then we'll place the left foot flat on the mat, knee up toward the ceiling. Cross it over so that the left shin is on top of the right thigh, not on top of the right knee. Hands behind the back. Place the right foot on the floor and scoot your seat closer to your right heel, keeping the shoulder blades melting down the back. And you work your chest closer to your shin and see how that feels. This might not work. Might not be enough. If it's enough, you stay. If it's not, heel toe the right foot over to the left and stack left shin on top of right. Again, block in front of left knee option, foot on the block, or in front of the right shin. If you're stacking, again, you make sure that the Right shin on the bottom is parallel to the front of your mat. Left shin is parallel to it. And then the hands are behind the back. You fold forward, or once again, if you'd like, you want to come into that other version where you bring your hands on the floor, palms up, and let your head rest on the block. You might feel you get a little more length in your spine and then surrender into it. Breathe deep. Breathe soft. Notice the quality of your breath. Notice the groundedness and notice the spaciousness. Just pay attention to what's there. Whatever is there is fine. It's exactly what should be. Breathe it in and soften it out. And then take another full breath in as you breathe it out. And then wherever you are, gently release out of the posture. Extend the legs straight out in front of you. Shake, shake, shake. Tap, tap, tap whenever you need. It's fine. And then from there, take your legs into a wide stance here. Bring your left hand in your center space, right hand on an angle of your hips, so somewhat behind your back, more so on the side though. Lengthen, press into the pads of the fingers and lift your side body. Exhale, twist to the right from the mid body. So ring out the spine. Your feet were flexed when you started, and now let them relax. And we want to let a little more yin energy go into the legs, the hamstrings that are usually very tight. So working with connective tissue, bringing a yin component to our flow. So yin yoga is always about relaxing and letting the connective tissue be the primary focus of your posture. So while this is not a yin class, I like to allow a part of that to come in energetically. So it allows for a little more soothing energy to flow. Come on back to center. Right hand in center space and left hand diagonal to the hip, somewhat toward the back of your body. Lengthen and twist to the left from the mid body. And breathe it in. Soften, twist maybe a little bit deeper. Then we come on back to center, and both hands are in your center space. Walk your hands forward. Lengthen. And maybe a surrender here. Forearms on the floor, chin to throat. Maybe not. Maybe the arms are lifted. Soften here. And then gently walk the hands in towards your body. Help the legs toward one another. Shake them out. Let's place both feet flat onto the mat. Maybe the hands are holding underneath the legs or on either side. Roll it down, one vertebra at a time, nice and slow. You can hold on if you need to, of course, but either way, just come down really slow. And once on your back, let's hug the knees in towards your chest and rock side to side. And circle in one direction. Circle in the other. Maybe rock one more time. Maybe make it bigger though. So go all the way to the sides. So you get the whole sacrum. And then we'll hug the right knee in toward the chest and extend the left leg onto the mat. Squeeze it in. Now, when you squeeze it in, you want to get a nice stretch, but not that you're squeezing so hard that you're tensing your shoulders. So just draw it in and bring it closer to your body without putting any strain or stress in the shoulder area. And then we'll bring the right hand to the floor, and the left hand will cross the right knee over toward the left. Let's soften here so that your whole body sink into the mat. Breathe into the right ribs. Just give yourself this time to notice. Just notice whatever's there. And just be with whatever's there. No pressure, not looking for anything in particular. You're just noticing how you're feeling. And honoring it. Most importantly, honoring it, because we don't always feel shiny and happy. And that's okay. That's the beauty of being human, the spectrum of emotion. So being okay if you're feeling angry or sad, whatever you're feeling, knowing that it's just part of the spectrum of emotion. And if it's where you are, then it's where you are. And we embrace it. We experience it fully. Come on back to center. Again, we'll hug the knees and both knees in toward the chest. A nice big rock side to side so we can get the whole sacral area. And then big circles in one direction. Big circles in the other. Hug the left knee in toward the chest as you extend the right leg onto the mat. Left hand to the floor, right hand crosses left knee over the body. Soften again. Breathe here. Then we'll come on back to center. Hug the knees in final time, squeeze them in. And then your choice, you can extend the legs one at a time, lying flat on your back with the legs extended, feet splaying out to either side, or feet on the mat as wide as the mat. Let the knees dip in toward one another. Again, if you have yoga props around, blocks underneath the thighs, roll a blanket, or you have a bolster underneath your knees, that's fine. See what feels like a good place to be. And then soften into it. And breathe deep. Notice what the quality of your breath is. And the feeling that it's moving through your body. Is there a sensation of softness or not? It's That's okay. I like you just to acknowledge it. Let your breath be whatever it is. If it's choppy, if it's shallow, if it's smooth, if it's deep. Notice it, acknowledge it exactly as it is, and then see as you pay attention to it if it just naturally starts to smooth out a little bit more if it wasn't already. Or if it was already smooth, maybe it gets even deeper, even smoother. Maybe you can go a little deeper and notice the energy that's riding the breath, that's entering your body, and notice what's leaving. So when we have situations within us, if we're feeling sad or angry, or like I said, we're not just feeling all perky, happy self, if there is some energy that's stagnant within you, then just breathing in this way and letting it be whatever it is, and then just watching it do whatever it's going to do, releases it. It starts to be digested in a sense, and we move through it. So always know that our bodies are working to bring us back to balance, not only physically, but also emotionally and energetically. So just spend some time here, breathing and noticing. Stay here for a few minutes, and I'll be here to guide you out. Breathe deeply. Bring awareness to your body and to the room, and particularly to the ground that you're lying on, the surface that you're lying on. Feel very supported and feel very light. Know that Earth energy, know that Mother Earth is always supporting you. So you can sink into that support, knowing that she will be holding you up to create the lightness. Deepen the breath and release the breath fully. Begin to invite gentle movements into your body, wiggling fingers and toes. And taking your time, hug your knees in towards your chest. And roll over onto your right side when ready. Settle in for a moment. And resist the temptation to open the eyes and bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Once seated, draw the palms to touch. Thumbs rest by heart center as you bow the chin toward the throat. And I thank you so, so much for your hard work, your dedication, and for sharing your practice with me. It was truly my honor to teach you. Namaste.